Right, E46 race car rear subframe reinforcement project. So there's going to be a whole host of little snippet videos which we'll just stitch together. The purpose here is not to make the slickest video in the world, but rather to give a true how-to. We are going to fabricate our own reinforcement plates, and I'm going to then try and actually capture those on a template which we can make available if anybody wants to do this. It's not complicated stuff. You can buy the sets of plates, but depending on where you are in the world, it can be a logistical issue more than a cost issue. So banging them out of a piece of 1.6 mil plate is probably not the toughest thing to do. So basically what we've got is 4 subframe mounting points: the 2 front ones, the 2 rear ones, and then there's a shim of 1.6 mil that needs to be applied to these 2 places over here, because if you don't do that, then your clearance between your subframe and these points here changes by the thickness of the plates that you have over here, and you just crack your aluminium bracket. So 2 little shims need to be manufactured for there. And then on the top side, we've got to cut open, get into the cavity above these guys over here, reinforce from the top, and carry on. So yep, right now, first step, get everything cleaned up. So I've just hit it with a little bit of a wire brush on the areas which were cleared. We literally only had e-coat on them. But now we're down to where the seam sealer is. Wire brush I don't think is great for seam sealer, so I'm going to hit it with a flap disc or something a bit more abrasive. Get that all cleaned up, and then we're going to map out where we want our brackets to be. Make up some templates, probably out of just a bit of paper or cardboard initially, and start playing. Okay, so update. As we were busy commenting on these plates that we're about to start welding now, it's Saturday afternoon, WhatsApp just came through onto the screen literally while we were videoing, saying we're racing on Saturday. We've been sitting around during COVID, not being able to get our hands on anything. It's been an absolute pain. Yesterday afternoon, I managed to eventually get hold of PSB, who are going to supply bushes. They've said that there's some custom bushes they need to supply. They said they're going to courier on Tuesday. We're now cutting it terribly fine, so we're probably going to get bushes on Wednesday, which means we then have to reassemble the whole rear end of the car, get it in, and then start making sure that everything is lined up and in the right place. We're going to have to do rear alignment. There's a lot of stuff. So this is pretty scary now. So this has turned into a hurry up and wait, and into now a frantic get this thing back together again and ready for a race in 6 days. Right. Okie dokie. So we have the brackets made up and secured in place. So the process here was to use paper to kind of make out a little template, and then knock these babies out of 1.6 mil mild steel. They're all different, so each one is literally made to fit as best it can around the existing bracketry and so on. This is the rearward side, left hand side rearward, and right hand side rear. And yeah, then the plates have been cleaned up. Just remove all the mill scale off the edges where you're going to be welding, otherwise you're going to get contaminated welds. It's going to be a little bit tenuous welding around here right next to the fuel tank. So we'll have a cup of water standing by. Nice idea here, by the way, is using a wheel bolt to go into these M12 holes, because the taper then ensures that you center the hole that you've drilled and don't have any issues later. And then you'll see all these secondary holes here. These are for puddle welds, or rosette welds as they're called, in various places on the brackets, just to create additional reinforcement. We'll be drilling through, so once the plate is welded in place, we'll then drill through the first layer of material over here to get through to the secondary layer, and then do a rosette weld so that we go straight through onto that layer. Okay, so most of the guys would MIG weld this. Our MIG machine is not great, can't really set it as well and as finely as one would like to, so we're going to hit it with a TIG. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Right guys, so we've got the rear subframe reinforcement plates in place. As promised, I said we would just digitize it somehow. I've just basically copied the damn things. I'll put them onto Vizio or something like that. But if anybody wants these, just let us know and we'll send it across either as a PDF or I can put it in DWG format or whatever you like. They're not, there's no science behind this. You just map out a space and you kind of cover the spot as best you can. The two little guys there are just these shims over here to ensure that you maintain exactly the same heights of the rear subframe and the aluminium crossmember, so that you don't overstress the crossmember and crack it. So yeah, here, we've got the plates in place. They're all different, as you could see from the sketch. I've got to tell you, the TIG was not a great idea. It's really tough. You're holding the torch. It's very slow. I had really battled with pain in the arm. I couldn't carry on for very long. My TIG skills simply aren't good enough to do it as well as it needs to be done. So it was really painstaking and a bit of a pain in the bum. So I think the MIG is a lot more forgiving because you've only got the one hand to control. You can use a second hand to support, whereas with the TIG you're trying to feed filler wire in at the same time as maintaining a short arc on your torch. So really struggled with it, but it's in, it's done, and I'm quite sure that it is going to give the necessary reinforcement. So we've got currently 2 days to go. It's now Tuesday late afternoon. Our poly bushes have not yet arrived. I called this morning. They couldn't even tell me where they were. They're somewhere between Kokstad and Centurion. So our plan B right now is we have confirmed availability of stock rubber bushes, and come 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, if we don't have the poly bushes in hand, we will get rubber bushes and put them in literally just for the race on Saturday and for this event, which will be a real tragedy. I mean, it really will be unfortunate, but we can't afford to go through Wednesday night and not know what's happening on Thursday morning. Thursday morning, the car has to be on the ground. We need to get the wheel alignment done. We need to get it out on the road, shake it down, make sure nothing falls off, get it on the trailer ready for Saturday morning, practice 1 8 a.m. Friday morning. So there's really no time left and we are starting to get a little bit desperate. So watch this space, we'll keep you informed.